In my last video, I ranked the record signing from the first 10 Premier League teams out of 10. Now, because that video would have been so long if I did all 20 in one video, in this video, we're going to be doing the last 10 teams. But if you guys did miss part 1, then the link to the Premier League playlist is in the description, so go check that out and make sure you watch part 1 after this video. Jumping straight back into it, we have the return of Premier League team Leicester and their record signing of Youri Tielemans for 45 million. Tielemans joined Leicester in January 2019 and impressed so much that Leicester actually signed him on a full transfer after his loan spell. He played over 190 times for Leicester, scoring 28 goals, but his most memorable moment is scoring in the FA Cup final against Chelsea. However, following Leicester getting relegated, he decided not to renew his contract and help Leicester get back to the Premier League and decided to join Aston Villa instead. Last season, in his first season at Villa, he played 46 times and was pretty impressive when he did play. And, you know, we all know how good Villa had this season, and he's kind of, you know, to thank for that. And he has actually also played for Belgium now at the last 4 tournaments, so he's doing something right. Overall, he was pretty decent at Leicester and he did help them to win an FA Cup, so for that reason, I'm going 8 out of 10. Moving on to Liverpool, and we have their record signing of Darwin Núñez for 85 million from Benfica. Núñez played 85 times for Benfica and scored 28 goals in 26 games in his second season to get Player of the Tournament and top goal scorer. Following his successful season with Benfica, he earned himself a big money move to Liverpool, but his first season was kind of a mixed one. He was sent off for a headbutt against Crystal Palace in one of his first few games, and he did miss a lot of chances that he should have been scoring. However, he did go on to score 15 times in 42 games and did win the Player of the Month award twice. Now, last season, he was much better in Jurgen Klopp's final season, scoring 18 goals and getting 13 assists. So, yeah, it was kind of a big improvement on his first season. But now that Klopp has left and it's a new era for Liverpool, it's going to be interesting to see how he does, and it's going to be interesting to see if he fits in or not under the new manager's playstyle. He hasn't really lived up to his full price tag, but if he carries on his performances from last season, I'm sure he will. But for now, I'm going 7 out of 10. Next up, we have defending champions Man City with their 117.5 million signing of Jack Grealish from Aston Villa. Grealish, of course, played over 200 times for his boyhood club and even captained the side in the last 2 seasons that he was there. He was a pretty big part of their promotion-winning season back to the Premier League, scoring 6 goals and 6 assists, but he did have a lot of good performances, including a performance against rivals and my team, Birmingham, after he got punched by a fan and went on to score the winning goal. He's now played over 120 times for Man City, scoring 14 goals, and you know, he'd probably want to score a few more goals than that, but he was a pretty big part of the treble winning season last season. We just have to hope that Grealish doesn't suffer with injury as much as he has in other seasons, but there is a pretty big price tag, and I'm going to go 8 out of 10. On to Manchester United now, and we have Paul Pogba from Juventus for 105 million. Pogba played over 170 times for Juventus, and he won the league in every single season that he played there during his 4 years. This earned himself a big money move back to Man United, where he started his career, and he won the Europa League and the League Cup in his first season. His next few seasons were very up and down though. Everyone remembers the beef he had with Jose Mourinho and how much Graham Souness just absolutely disliked him. But after 226 times playing for Man United again, he decided enough was enough and he went back to Juventus, where he only played 8 games because of injury. He's now serving a 4-year doping ban and his career is probably over, because when he comes back, I think he's going to be like 35, 36. His career is pretty much done. Bearing in mind, when Man United signed him, he was the most expensive player in the world. He definitely has not lived up to his price tag at all. Man United have had some absolutely awful signings in the last few years, and this one is definitely up there, so I'm going 5 out of 10. On to Newcastle now, and we have their signing of Alexander Isak for 70 million. Isak, of course, joined Newcastle from Real Sociedad, where he scored 44 times in 132 games. His first season at Newcastle was ruined after he missed 16 games straight through injury, but he did still manage to score 10 times that season. However, last season he was absolutely on fire, scoring 25 times in all competitions, only behind Haaland and Cole Palmer. He was a key part of Newcastle's season last year, and he's definitely going to get better, so for that reason I'm going 8 out of 10. Moving on to Nottingham Forest, and we have their brand new signing of Elliot Anderson for 41 million. Anderson played 55 times for Newcastle across 2 seasons, and he did impress when he did play. Now, he did miss 4 months straight from a back injury, but when he did come back, he was back to his normal self and he was given more impressive performances. He joined Forest on the 1st of July, and he is very, very young, so he could definitely be one for the future. It will be interesting to see if he does actually get regular game time, but he is still very young and he hasn't played a lot of games in the Premier League, so for that reason, I'm going for a neutral 6 out of 10. Moving on to recently promoted side Southampton and their signing of Livramento from Chelsea for 26 million. Livramento played 34 times for Southampton, scoring once across 2 seasons. But to be fair, he did miss the whole of the 22 to 23 season after missing 394 days with an injury. He did miss the season that Southampton got relegated, so you can always ask the question, if he didn't get injured, would Southampton have got relegated? But we'll never know. He joined Newcastle at the start of last season, where he did impress, playing 35 times, and he was a key part of their success. Although it's not his fault, as he was heavily injured for a long period of time, but he definitely didn't live up to his price tag, so for that reason I'm going to go 5 out of 10. Next up we have Spurs, and their record signing is Tanguy Ndombele from Lyon for 62 million. He played 96 times across 2 seasons for Lyon, and many tipped him to be the next big thing. Now, during his first season at Spurs, he did play 29 times, but was dropped towards the end of the season due to his professionalism, with Jose Mourinho actually saying, quote, "He needs to do better and I need to put the team first." The next season was a little bit better for him. He played 46 times and scored 6 goals. But at the end of the season, again, got dropped because of injury and lack of fitness. He spent the next 3 seasons at Lyon, Galatasaray and Napoli, and he never played for Spurs again. This was an awful signing, and it definitely is a waste of potential. So for this reason, I'm going 3 out of 10. Moving on to West Ham, and we have their record signing of Sebastian Haller for 50 million from Frankfurt. Haller joined West Ham from Frankfurt, where he scored 33 goals in 77 games and even won the German Cup in his first season there. He only scored 7 times in 35 games in his first season, but did blame it due to the sacking of David Moyes and appointment of Manuel Pellegrini, who did prefer Mikel Antonio up front. The following season, he did win December Goal of the Month, but West Ham decided enough was enough and he moved to Ajax in January 2020. Considering the money that was paid for him, 14 goals in 50 games was definitely not worth the price tag at all, and this signing did not go as planned. If David Moyes did stay at West Ham, then things might have been different, but this signing was definitely not as good as it could have been, and I'm going to go 5 out of 10. Finally, we have Wolves, and their record signing is Matheus Cunha from Atletico Madrid for 50 million. He played 37 times in his first season at Atletico, scoring 7 times, and the following season only played 17 times before joining Wolves on loan in January. He played 20 times for Wolves on loan, scoring twice, but did impress so much that Wolves decided to make the move permanent. So last season was his first full season at Molineux, and of course he had an absolutely great season, much improved from his loan spell. He scored 14 times and got 8 assists. Cunha is only 25, and if he still carries on his performances from last season, he can only get better, and he's only going to attract bigger clubs and might even get a bigger signing. He was really impressive at Wolves last season, so for that reason I'm giving it a 7 out of 10. So there you go, guys, that is the second part of ranking every Premier League team's record signing. Like I said, if you guys did miss part 1, check the link in the description to the Premier League playlist, and part 1 will be in there, and make sure you guys check out that video. And guys, if you did enjoy this video, please do smash the like button and consider subscribing, because we are trying to hit 110 subscribers before the end of October. But guys, thank you so much for taking the time out of your day to watch my video. I really do appreciate it. There's loads more Premier League content coming your way, so make sure you guys stick around, and I promise you won't regret it.